Okay, thanks everybody for hopping on. And for those of you listening to the recording, thank you for taking the time. I'm really excited to share coming out of Summit. This call tonight, is our, what I call it, like grow your team and go green or something creative. And now I can't remember what it was, but the whole thought about it is that every couple months, every other month or so, it's frequently, I think it's important for us to revisit the Emerald rank in general, have a general call that explains it. This call recording will go in the unit. So when you have a new coach sign up, if there's not a training that month, you can say, here's a call that we did, 2 months ago, take a listen, and then you can get on the phone with them after and talk to them about it. But coming out of Summit, if you, quick thing I'm just going to say, and I'll say it again on Thursday, like events matter, y'all, like coming to retreat, coming to Summit, going to a Super Saturday, getting in a room with people helps build your belief. So the nervousness you feel when you're inviting, you don't feel it as much because you physically have been in the room with your people, if that makes sense. And then you almost feel like you're not by yourself building a team. So I just want to encourage you. So I'm going to share a little bit tonight about Emerald Rank, what it is, why it's important. I shared a video in the thread from Leslie Cordes, and it was a great video that says don't fall into the emerald trap. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. I'm going to be pretty brief. And then I'm going to talk about a tip to help you go over your nerves about inviting. And they actually give some invite examples. And like I've asked Sarah to share some examples. And if anybody else has an example, like Emily just sent one so she could share what she just sent. Make it speaker view. Oh, okay. I can do that. But now I'm looking at Emily.
I know it's really weird when you're speaking, but it's better for the recording.
That's okay. I just am looking at, okay. So now I'm looking at you. But are y'all looking at me? Okay, we're good. All right, so let's start. Emerald Rank. In our business, there are two main ways of earning an income. One is commission. You make 25% off of anything you sell, 40% off of Beachbody On Demand. And that's a great way to cover your costs and, earn $250 to $500 a month. But the one thing that people worry when they do this business is, how can I serve these people well if I have a lot of people and I want to help a lot of people? And that's the beauty of the second way of earning income in this business, is when you rank advanced and you build a team. When you build a team, you have other coaches that are also inviting. You have a group together collaborating and focusing on a mission. And it's almost as if when you have Emerald Rank, the best description I had is, imagine you open this little boutique, right? Like Summer calls it Tucker, she's one of our upline and good friends, says fitness boutique. So you opened a fitness boutique and you were serving people in your area. But then all of a sudden you wanted to serve other people. So you reached out to two really good friends and then presented them with this opportunity of what you were doing. And they decided to open boutiques in their areas. And then they were serving more people. You would help them start their boutique. You would support them in starting it. But then the influence gets to expand. And the mission of Beachbody is so great with, helping others live healthy and fulfilling lives. The mission statement that came out of Summit this year of you matter, you belong, community, moving people towards results. There's so many people that are in need of help. So that's why this is a very exciting rank. It does not have to be complicated, but you want to have it be purposeful. So you get 25% off product sales and 40% with BOD. I'm Allison. So Emerald Rank. What Emerald Rank is that you, right here, when you become a coach, it's a binary system, which means you have two legs. When you make the decision to offer the opportunity to two people and they say yes, you put one person on one leg and one person on the other leg, and then you're Emerald. To stay active as an Emerald coach, you need to have 50 PV, which means personal volume. If you are drinking Shakeology you have 90 PV every month. Your coaches each have to be active, which means they need to have 50 PV as well. Something that's a really cool blessing about this, though, is PV also comes from your sales. So say your coach is in a situation right now where they have to skip a month of Shakeology. If they're signing up customers every month or have a customer on Shakeology Home Direct, that will keep them active. Or 50 PV, maybe they order Hydrate and Energize that month, or maybe Beach Bars. You know, there are other ways to get volume. To know about volume, there's an entire document in the units that has volume for every single thing we sell. You can print it off and look at it because everything is different. But when you have two coaches, one on your right, one on your left, that are active, then you're Emerald. What that means is you start to qualify for commissions that you continue to have, but what we call cycle bonuses. What a cycle bonus is every time one side, one leg equals 100, 200, and one leg equals, okay, every time one leg equals 200 and one equals 100, and you total 300 volume points, you get $14. You can cycle up to so many times to make $250 a week off volume as your team grows. The thing with Emerald is a lot of times when you first start, you have a coach here making 90 and a coach here making 90. Well, that's 180. You're like, well, so you don't see a cycle right away. So sometimes people are like, okay, but it's like you're laying the foundation, because if this coach signs two challengers up with challenge packs and they have their, own 90 PV, and that's 270 PV, 2 volume points. And then your other coach over here, gets Shakeology and Hydrate because they're just for the discount, you would cycle one time, which over time, y'all, as you grow your downline and you add coaches, the beauty is like 60 to 70% of my income now is volume. And that means I don't have to sell 80 challenge packs a month to pay my bills. I can help 5 to 10 new people every month, which is my goal. And then I help my coaches who are building help however many people they choose through our team calls, through our cathedral builders. So it's a team. It's a team cycle bonus. It's not my cycle bonus. It's a team effort. The other thing I want to touch on is that this is Emerald rank. But what I love that was taught is to be Emerald strong. You really want to be constantly moving and recruiting. At least one coach a month is a great goal, unless you want to do faster. Because you want to have 2 coaches on each leg. That way, if someone is inactive because they have to defer for a month, it doesn't make you lose your status, so you can still continue to cycle. So the Emerald trap that Leslie Cordes talked about in that video was that you sign up 2 coaches, you go Emerald, woohoo, and then you don't invite anybody else to your team. You get a cool magnet from Beachbody, you get a tank top from your coach, but then you're like, okay, what's next? The purpose of it is you're making a decision when you say I want to go Emerald to saying you want a team. Did you not get a magnet? Maybe they don't do the magnet anymore. They used to do a magnet. They might have changed it. I lost the magnet. It's not a big deal. It's like this big, choking hazard for kiddos. But you got a flyer though, like a recognition thing, right? Okay. So it 1 month you might grow your team 2 to 3 coaches, and 1 month you might not, but you've decided that I'm building a team. And you're going forward with this decision that I am going to continue working to build my team. And so it means that if you have a month you don't recruit, you don't say, this doesn't work. You just keep moving forward, building relationships, helping your challengers get results, seeing people who you want to be a part of your mission, and extending the invitation. You get wristbands now? Oh, that's kind of cool. I know, right? So the other part of this that I want to explain with the graphic, and the rest of this you honestly can see in all of the stuff that's in the Unit 3, is that when you're placing your coaches, you're going to notice if you look in your online office at your legs that one of them, I should use a different color. Well, so you're not, okay. One of them already has like a couple coaches on there, and you're going to look and be like, wait a minute, there's Megan and Emily and Sarah, but I didn't sign them up. That's because the beauty of a binary system is it's a team leg. So you all have one of your legs as a team leg, which is, if you were my personally sponsored coach, it's a leg that I have placed coaches on. Your team leg is considered your strong leg because it already has volume. You get to collect that volume. So when you're signing up your first coach, a lot of times if you're married, they suggest signing up a spouse and saving that spot on your weak leg, because that's called the golden egg. Like down the line, it's the top of the organization, it's the top of the leg you're going to be building the most, because you're going to be building this leg with coach. You'll put one on your weak, one on your strong, and then you will build your weak leg with coaches because your strong leg has all this volume that it's collecting. So when you're signing up coaches, make sure you talk to your upline and ask them, which one is my team leg? Which one is my team leg? Which one is the team leg, or whatever you want to call it? Which is the strong, which is the weak, so they can help you figure out how to place your coaches, because that's the beauty of it. So you might already have volume. And the other thing that's really important to recognize, and I don't want to confuse everyone, this is the last thing I'm going to say about technical stuff, is that whatever volume doesn't get cycled, say you're like, well, if you had 400 and 100, you only cycled once, there's 200 points left over. They sit in a bank. It's called carryover. And they stay there until they equal enough to cycle again. But if you lose your emerald, like if you go in, not if you lose your emerald, if you go inactive, the carryover volume goes away. So once you hit emerald, it's very important that you keep yourself active. And like I mentioned in the beginning, that could be through sales of your own clients or your Shakeology, or if there's a month you have so much Shakeology because sometimes we get, especially if like your first trimester and you're not drinking it every single day and you get a backup, order something else to keep yourself active because you don't want to lose that carryover. True story. Courtney is one of my coaches, my husband, and he went inactive and I lost like 100,000 carryover volume points. That hurt because it just did. And it was like one of those things where it was a small error of me not paying attention. So you want to stay active. Now, if you lose your emerald, you don't lose the carryover. You lose it if you go inactive. So that's just an important thing I wish that I had known back in the day. So that is kind of how emerald works. When you did make the decision, which you guys have because you're here, you want to set a date. Every goal you ever have needs to have a date. It needs to be a date. Like you need to say, I want to be emerald by July 31st. And as Josh Coates says, let's puke together. Make it make you nervous, because if it makes you comfortable, you're not going to work as hard for it. Don't be like, I'm going to be emerald tomorrow and then stress yourself out, but make it make you uncomfortable enough that you have to be creative and intentional. So I was even looking at my 90-day goals, thinking that some of them are making me nervous and some of them I might need to move up the date on them to make me work a little bit more focused and intentional, because otherwise you're like, if I say I want to be emerald the next 90 days, you can almost get lazy and complacent in your effort. I would rather you set the date for July 31st and hit it August 15th. So it's not failure if you hit the date and you haven't hit it, because you're going to be a lot closer to it on that date because you had the effort of hitting it sooner. So there's just something with goals that I've learned, because I used to be the safe goal person, like super safe. And I've learned that the personal growth that comes when your goals stretch you a little bit is more valuable. Aubrey, yes, to stay active, it can be a customer order. So for example, if I skipped my Shakeology 1 month that I ordered through my husband to keep him active, that's okay, because I have customers underneath him and he would stay active. Okay, so before you invite to coaching. I recommend you do an activity, if you have not, where you take a piece of paper, you draw a line down the middle, you write on one side, before I was a challenger, and on the other side, now. And you write down a list of all the things about your life before you were a challenger, and then how your life is now. And then I recommend you do the same before I was a coach on a different piece of paper, and now. And you write down how the coaching opportunity has blessed you. You might be saying, but I haven't even built my team. It doesn't matter. I mean, I was a coach for months before I dug into the business, 3 months. And my life had already been changed by the community of the team that I was around. There's coaches that have been on, whether you've been on a retreat or it's from the team calls or the team community or whatever it's been, write it down and keep it. So before you send your invites, you read that, because then you're in the frame of mind when you're going to ask someone of, this is the gift I want to give someone else, instead of the nervousness of, I'm going to ask them and I hope they don't tell me no. You get a little more of a purpose when you remember what it's done for you and you realize that you're offering that opportunity to someone else. Michael Neiman at Summit this past weekend said something great. He said he hates calling it the business opportunity. It's just an opportunity, and business is a part of it. It's a growth opportunity, a health opportunity, a business opportunity, a financial opportunity, like so many opportunities in one. And I love that he said that. So that's the first tip I have if you get nervous. The second one is, when you invite someone, which we're going to share some samples in a minute, ask them to take a look at the entire opportunity. Don't shortchange yourself and just say, because I've done this, hey, do you want to save some money on your Shakeology so you can fill a spot on my downline? Because you haven't even let them decide that that's all they want, which is still a great perk. So I always ask people if they've ever considered doing what I do, and if they would have a few moments to check out a video with some information about all of it. And then in the team page, which I'm going to show you guys, there is a unit that's called How to Share the Coaching Opportunity. And in that unit is videos and graphics about coaching. And one of them says, choose your path. After they watch the video, I send them the graphic and I tell them, which one do you think sounds like the best fit for you right now? And some people say, I just want the discount. But most people I've learned, when they see the whole gambit of opportunity, they'll say, like, I wouldn't mind helping 1 or 2 people. And y'all, if you had a team of 50 people helping 1 or 2 people, that's a lot of people. You know what I mean? Or even 10 people helping 1 or 2 people. That's a lot of people that you're helping through the hands of others. So first tip is, remember where you came from. And the second is, don't shortchange the opportunity for them, to not see, if they decide, I don't want anything but just a discount. I mean, that's what I said, but I never even watched the video. I watched an opportunity video 90 days into my challenge group after I already signed up for the discount. And so you're just planting the seed. Yes. The other thing is, if you're planning to sign up your spouse, you could use the promo code, but make sure you have your second person, because you will be paying another $15.95 a month fee. If you have a spouse, it's highly encouraged you sign them up on your week leg with their permission, as long as they're okay with it. Because there is, like I said before, it's a great spot in your organization. You can sign some clients up through your spouse to run orders through your spouse, so you wouldn't have to order Shakeology twice, unless your husband's like mine and he drinks it too. But yes, wait till you have both people, just because that way it's kind of like 1-2. You can do it in the same day, which is why this is a great month, because we do have those promo codes, which is an extra bonus to offer to people. And Morning Meltdown 100 is coming out. So I offered the coaching opportunity to a few people who have been on the fence about coaching, because of the added perk of being able to be in the group with Jericho and knowing it would help them with their fitness journey. And they were interested in coaching, but their biggest concern was kind of like consistency. And so I offered it to see if that would help them, but they still saw the whole opportunity. So Yes. So that is definitely, you don't need to sign your husband up and then have to, wait till you have both people. Um, the last thing I was going to mention is as you are continuing to invite to your team, I want you to start thinking about your vision of what you want for your team. The Freedom Families vision is written, our mission is written in the header of our team. And the short version of it is to embrace freedom in your own journey, share truth with others by sharing your journey, and inspiring hope in them so that they want to make a change. That's my mission. You have a different piece of this family tree. Your mission is going to flow most likely out of the team's mission because you're a part of this team, but it's going to be unique to you. Start getting excited about it, because when you talk about why you want someone to be a part of your team, it's because you want them to help further your mission. And people are inspired by that. It makes them see it's more than just an MLM. Like the MLM is the tool that helps us to spread our mission. So that's really been helpful to me. When someone, has rejected me in the past, if I shared my mission and they rejected me, it didn't hurt as bad, because just to me, it meant that they weren't interested in what I'm doing, versus like inviting them to, and feeling like I had to prove that the MLM worked. Does that make sense? So when you invite somebody, like today, for example, I had a girl that I have been talking to. I'm going to share 2 examples for a while. She has not done a challenge group before. She loves like health and wellness. I know her from New Orleans. She actually followed me for a while on Facebook, and we would chat. And she was curious a really long time ago about what we did. So I shared a video with her, and she said, okay, but I'm not interested right now. And she just got married. And so since we've been friends on Instagram, it's been about 2 years. She shares like smoothie recipes and healthy recipes and working out every day and personal development and prayer. I just sent her a voice message today because I know her, and we interact back and forth, and just said, hey, I wanted to know if you'd be open to having a conversation about coaching, because I love how you share your faith, you share health and wellness, you embrace your family. And I don't know, with you having your babies soon, because she's due for twins, if you would be interested in looking at this again as an option for you to help out and to be able to work from home. Would you be open to having a conversation? Just real simple, and she might say no, and that's okay. But I knew why I wanted to have a conversation with her. I kind of saw a need that it could possibly help. Another one that I sent out recently was to a challenger who was very engaged in a challenge group, and just said, hey, I love how encouraging you are in the challenge group and how much you share. I wanted just to ask you, have you ever thought about doing what I do as a coach? That's it. And then they'll usually come back and say like, well, what do you do as a coach? Or yes, I have thought about it. Or I don't know. And then you just say, well, rather than word vomit on you, because I'm really excited about what I do, how about I sent you a short video to watch that explains what I do as a coach? And I sent you a webinar we did, because we have a webinar, so you can kind of gauge it. There's a 10-minute video we have, and our webinar was like about 40 minutes, but ask them. I have a webinar our team did. It really captures the heart of the team and explains the opportunity. Would you have some time to watch it? And then we could follow up in a few days and give them a date and see what questions you have or what part excited you. Most of the time they say, sure. And you send the video. Follow up in 2 days. And if they're like, I haven't watched it yet. Okay, how about I follow up with you and you tell them again? Sure. If after that, 2 things can happen. They watch it, they're excited. They watch it and they're just not sure. So you ask them why, or they still haven't watched it. Guys, if someone hasn't been able to watch a video after following up that many days, they're not really ready to be on your team yet. And as hard as that is to hear when you're really wanting to build, doesn't mean they won't be later. It's just they're not ready yet. You know what I mean? Because if they can't listen to that, then they're not most likely going to be on a team call or see what I'm saying? So don't look at it as you're not enough or the business isn't enough. They're just not ready. If they tell me, yes, I am, but I'm not quite sure what I want to do, then I'll tell them, how about I send you a graphic that was in the video, the team webinar, that talks about the different paths to coaching, and we can see which one would fit you best. And I send the graphic that's in that unit. I'll show you guys. They look at it, they tell me what they think, and then we get them started. If they're a challenger, they pay the $40 and they get it refunded. If they're military, they get a discount and they get the fee waived. If they've never done a challenge group before, I usually say, how about we start you as a challenger for the first 30 days and dig in together, and then we can talk about team stuff as you're working on your health goals. It was never this easy for me at the beginning, y'all, but my point is, think about it as if you were just talking to like your best friend and you just wanted to share with them, and one of the best examples ever, and I'm not the analogy queen like Sarah is, but was when I said a friend of ours, like, it's like I'm at a barbecue and you're not there. And I said that to a friend one time, you're not asking them to marry you. You're asking them to have coffee. And so, but the tools let them do the facts. You just share your heart and then you listen. So, does anyone else want to share some examples, and then I'll take any questions, or we can all take questions.
I can share some things, and I'll tell you, like, I think it's really hard because we want the perfect script. We want the thing that we can just copy and paste and it works every time. And I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way. It just doesn't. And we can give you some examples. We can share some things that we have offered. But I think that even if you write the message originally and then just copy and paste it, it starts to sound stale. Even if it sounded good the first time, it really gets stale. And what I was jotting down some notes because it's really hard when someone asks me, like, well, what do you send as an invite? And I'm like, well, it depends on the person. Well, because it depends on the person and it depends on why I'm inviting them. And I need to know why I'm inviting. And Kelly touched on this a little bit. Am I inviting them because I love the way they share their heart and I want to be around them? Am I inviting them because they're a rock star challenger and they can really inspire other people? Am I inviting them because they have a financial need and this is something that could serve that? Like, what is it that they need? Because I will tell you, I believe that everybody needs this. I really don't think that there's anybody who doesn't need something that Beachbody offers. I really, truly have that amount of belief in this company and the variety of things that they offer. And I do not throw a challenge pack at every single person. I don't, because not everybody needs the same thing, right? And so when I'm talking to somebody, I have to first ask myself why I'm inviting them and what I'm inviting them, like what about them. And then I tell them that. I know we haven't talked about this before, but I like to surround myself with people who are encouraging, people who are positive, people who do life the way that I want to do life. And then like Kelly said, I say the same thing. Have you ever thought about this? Have you ever seen one of my posts and thought about doing what I do? Have you ever thought about joining my team as a coach? Have you ever, thought about, I'd say the same thing for challengers too, but like what that person I'm inviting because I like what they put out there. The other person that I was talking to is somebody who actually works in a gym, but she was talking about having trouble paying their mortgage. And I was like, I know that you've got this health and fitness thing, happen this way, but have you ever thought about expanding your reach beyond just what you can do at the gym and being a coach where you can reach people virtually, where you can reach, you have a broader reach of people, and it could be something that helps you financially with your family. So just like with the challenger, I have to know what I'm inviting them to. I have to know what their need is and what they want to work on. It's the same thing with a coach, but you have to trust yourself to talk to somebody. That I think is the big leap. People are like, I just want a script. I'm just so nervous. What if I say the wrong thing? You cannot say the wrong thing to the right person at the right time. If they're not interested, it's because it's the wrong time or because they're not your person. It has nothing to do with what you said. I have stumbled over my words more times than I can count. And then if I put my foot in my mouth, I go back and I say, I'm sorry, I came on a little strong. It's just because I'm excited. And sometimes I overdo it in my excitement because this community has given me so much and I get a little overzealous in my sharing. Or if I invite and someone says nothing, I say a similar thing. I hope I never pushed you. I don't want to push. I kind of want to nudge you a little bit, but I never want to be pushy. And I'm really sorry if it came across that way. I never say if this isn't the right opportunity for you. I always say if this isn't the right time for you, it's okay to say no to me. Because I truly do believe there's something in this for everybody. And then the last thing I wrote down, a lot of times coaches who haven't, and some of this came up earlier today too, coaches who don't have a particular level of financial success feel weird about inviting someone to the financial side of it. So then don't make promises for something that you haven't had yet. You either use someone else's story and you're really upfront with them. I just started and I'm not there yet, but my coach fill in the blank has been able to make her car payment with this. I'm not there yet because I just started, but so-and-so on my team has, whatever. We had somebody who paid off their birth of their child. We had Kelly bought Courtney a bike. I bought a sewing machine and farm animals because that's what I do. But you know what I mean? Like you don't just like you don't have to share somebody else's transformation. Sorry, you can share someone else. Get out of here. You're messing up my.
I'm the bodyguard.
He's the bodyguard. It's messing my flow. You can use someone else's transformation. If you've never done 2B Mindset while you're pregnant, you can tell my story and use that. Same thing here. Don't promise the moon if you're not standing on the moon. It's okay to tell somebody, like, I just started, I'm at the beginning of this, but part of what I love is that I have this team around me. And there's these other people who've been doing it longer and they know what they're doing and they help me every day. So I know that it seems kind of scary because you don't know what you're stepping into, but we can do this together.
I love that. And if you have someone and they have a specific need, you can message your coach and say, can we do a 3-way call with a potential coach about this?
Then the last thing I'll say about that third party tool, if you want to use that 40-minute call, let me give you I will give you a little bit of a script on this one because I used this recently. And I said to find the part of it that's relevant to them. So if the person has a financial need, then go to the financial part of it and look at the minute mark. And you can even say, this is a call that my team did that'll give you kind of the culture of the team. You'll get to meet some people who are actually on the team. I know it's long, but I think the part you'll really like is at the 22-minute mark.
Yeah.
And then either they'll go right to that, but chances are they'll keep watching or they'll end up watching the whole thing because they'll get hooked on it and they'll watch more of it. But you're kind of giving them, because seriously, I kid you not, if you send me an hour-long video, I'm going to be like, yeah, I don't think so. But even if it's something that I'm interested in, but if you give me, hey, go to the 22-minute mark because I think this is the part that you'll really like, I probably will end up watching the whole thing.
Yeah. And so if you haven't watched our team's webinar that we did last month, I would put it on your list to listen to while you're working out so you kind of are familiar with it. And that's why even if you don't invite to the webinars, it's good to come to them because it's good to be familiar with one another's stories. Y'all, when I met with Sarah and Ben about the whole opportunity, it was like not what you're thinking. I didn't pull out some snazzy words. We ate popcorn with black pepper and salt on it in their house. And I didn't even know how it ended up that they signed up.
I didn't know what we were joining.
I was so afraid that Sarah was going to, and Sarah was my friend that knew everything healthy. And I knew if there was one person that could find something wrong with Shakeology, she could. And I was terrified that she would find something wrong and then I would be screwed because I was in a business with something that wasn't healthy. It was like all of that insecurity. Do you know what I'm saying? So, and it worked. Like she said, you can't say the wrong person to the wrong thing to the right person at the right time. It was just the right time. Do you know what I'm saying? And so when you're inviting, make your list. If you knew every person would say yes, write them down. You know what I'm saying? Every person, because here's the other piece of it. They might tell you no, but love you and send you others. But if you don't ask them, I have at least 10 friends who have signed up with other MLMs or other coaches because I never asked them because I was afraid that the time was wrong, even though they were on my list. And one pops up on my feed every day and I'm like, oh, it's just starting a conversation and asking, and you might have to ask them several times. And it's not nagging if you come from a place of them and their need and what you see and how. And if you don't know their need, then when you ask the question and they say, I don't know, take the rest of the conversation to ask them questions and interview them to find their need. And so, that's where you can learn a lot about just listening, and honestly, you'll find your own thing. The only phrase from scripts I use is, have you ever considered? That's like a very good I just love these things about you, but it's different for every person. So I'm going to show you really quickly. Let me know can you see my Facebook? Yes. Okay. Because last time I was like, okay, hang on. Let me close this out. Oh, not that. Okay. I have all these messages open. Okay. If you're in our team page and you go to units, everything to learn about Emerald and the comp plan is here. I'm even going to save this whole message thread in this unit until we do it again. So that way you'll have all of the things we share. If you want to know about sharing coaching, how to invite your team is unit 7. This is a simple 10-minute video that was done by Melanie Mitro. It's a really good video. I recommend you watch all of our third-party tools so you know which one would serve best. This is a little checklist I made that will walk you through what I said tonight on how to share when to send the third-party tool and some questions to ask and some sample ways to talk. Like Sarah said, don't copy paste. You can always copy paste and edit, but edit well. This is a customer to coach guide from Beachbody that gives you some good questions that you can ask, so you can look through that.
Just don't be afraid of your voice.
Yeah.
That's the only thing, is that they are talking to you. They're not talking to me. So
right.
If you use my words, it's not going to sound like you.
Right. And then this is the last opportunity webinar that we did. And this is another shorter one that another top coach did that we have. And the last thing that is here is coaching in a nutshell. If someone was to ask you, hang on. Can you see this? Can you see it? No. Shoot. Okay. Well.
You probably have to click on it across the bottom of your screen.
Now?
No, like way across the bottom. Can you see it?
Yeah. Hang on. Now?
Yeah, there it is.
This is a graphic. So if you're talking to someone and they're confused, everything that's outlined in it, it walks through in this, here are the basics. And so I'll tell people at the end, let's recap on everything we talked about, because this is something they could share there with their husband, so their husband could see on paper. And it explains, all the details. You don't send it all at once, but they're tools to fit if someone were to say, like I had a person one time say, I don't know, I watched the video, but I don't remember a whole lot. Oh, you know what? I have a graphic that outlines the basics. Would that be better for you? Yes, please. I sent that. And the last image that I talked about was the paths of coaching, and I will upload that to that unit tonight. And that's the one that just has hobby, community builder, discount coach, part-time coach, full-time coach options where they can just look. But this week with the Emerald thing, ask. This is what they said. What third-party tool should I send them? And let us help you. In the thread. Ask. This is what they said. What graphic should I send them? Literally, please. We have committed, the Cathedral Builders, we've all committed that we are in that thread every day to work with you guys. And the reason it's in the team page and not in a message thread or group is because other coaches, I want them to be able to see so that when they're ready for this decision, they have learned from you and we can learn together. So you don't need to do everything that I've said tonight and not ask any questions. Please ask questions. This is why we did this whole thing. If anybody has any questions, go ahead and ask now, because I said I was going to try to keep it not too long tonight. Do y'all have any questions? Or anybody want to share?
I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So it takes me a while to process everything.
That's okay.
Go back and rewatch this whole video. But the thought of not being having like, I guess, Sarah and you, Kelly, because y'all helped me so much. I'll picture y'all like my umbilical cord that I'm like holding on to, right? So at what point, if I continue to build my team, are you going to say, see you later, you got to go do your own thing now type thing?
So just the reason why I changed the name of our team page to the Freedom Family is that this team page will be a hub forever for you guys. There will get to be a point when you grow to diamond and above, like where you'll start running your own challenge groups first with your coaches. And then you'll get to a point where you have enough coaches and leaders on your team that you're like, man, I need my own page now because I'm doing things a little different. And so you start a group, but that's when you're ready. It's
That's
different.
like far away. That would be far away from me, right? Like looking at me and
I opened my own team page when I went Star Diamond because I was ready. I had 60 coaches, like in my downline, and it was gotten to the point that the team page I was on, people were getting confused because I was using it as my team page to communicate, and so I had to pull, but we still plugged into the larger team. So we'll still have a big team retreat, and we'll still have, you know what I mean? Like, and as you grow, like when you become Emerald, you can be a part of the Cathedral Builders. When you become Diamond, we have a Diamond Leadership Squad that's going to form. So you'll also have your own, you'll always have support. Like, unless you said you wanted to do it on your own and not have any, which is totally okay too, there's always support. But my job kind of for you is like this past quarter with Sarah, when I was like, all right, as much as I absolutely love having you in my challenge group forever and ever, amen, like you need to do your own. And I hate saying that, but it was time for her to do her own. She has a ton of challengers, you know? So that was the first.
But I don't have my own team page. Like I have my own challenge group.
Right.
It's me and my coaches and all of our challengers, but I don't have my own team page.
No.
That's what put it in my head, because I reached out to Sarah, you commented or something, and you were like, yeah, because I didn't see her as frequently, I guess.
In our challenge group.
In the challenge group. Yeah.
I'm like, where have you been? And she's like, oh, I'm kind of big, and I'm like, I got my own challenge group. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't want that to ever happen to me.
But you know, we all survive, and I had a little bit of a temper tantrum about it. I'm not gonna lie, you know, but it's okay because I'm still not on my own. Like I have a challenge group, but like, I mean, Beth's on here tonight. Beth's in my challenge group, and then when she has challengers, they'll go into that challenge group because we have, I don't know, 80 people in our challenge group. That's too much to be with another group.
Yeah.
You know, so this challenge group has 8, so it's kind of like under the umbrella of it. But like I have a message thread that's all my personally sponsored coaches, so that if I sent them a reminder tonight about, I don't know, whatever I did, or if I have an announcement or something like that, or if it's something related to our challenge group, but I don't have my own team page. No. There's no reason for that, because all I would be doing is copying stuff from Team Freedom page and posting it in my group. Like there's no reason for that. I mean, down the line, like when I'm a 5-star, I'll probably have my own team page because it'll be just too many people, and we'll be doing our own trainings and we'll be doing our own calls and those kinds of things. But like that's way down the line and my choice.
Yeah. And the beauty of it is, what I love that we've had modeled for us is that it's even when you do your own thing, there's a lot of collaboration. So like when you're a diamond coach, you'll have access to the diamond group. And when you'll always have, so that's the beauty when you're inviting. A lot of times people get nervous about those, like, but I don't know if I could ever do this on your own. You don't ever have to do it completely on your own. I have gotten better at this as a coach and as a quote unquote mentor. I know when it's time to tell you you're strong enough to do something on your own now, but I've also learned that I jumped the nest too quickly when I first was a coach, and I tried to start my own team page, and I had like 6 coaches, and it was like dead because it was, you know, instead. So then I went back to my main hub and I did my own challenge group first. So you know what I'm saying? So yeah. But I love that you asked that, because a boss mentor, but because I think that's why I like the Cathedral Builder, you know, and then we kind of have what will come next when the next rung is ready, which is going to be soon, with people rising up to diamond soon. And And the last thing I'll say on our call, and then I'll say a little prayer, is like, the best way to build your team is to have the goal of, I'm going to hit Emerald every month. Make it your goal to have 2 coaches a month. If you want to have 2 coaches a month, build yourself up to be able to send 3 to 4 invites to coaching a week. Not right now, unless you have the people, but build yourself up to that, where you're talking enough. So, as a new coach building, two invites a week should be to coaching. I would say at least 8 to 10 invites a month. As a more seasoned coach, more close to 20. If you do that over time, you will be able to sign up and bring 2 new members a month. And if you hit Emerald every month, then you have a strong team, and then and we'll do a call another time about Diamond, but it just helps you to build a strong team, because what you don't want to do is invite 1 month, skip inviting 4 months, invite another month. It's the same as to your challenge group. You get out of the rhythm, you get uncomfortable with your wording, you're not consistent. It's noticed by people when they follow you. You're not going to necessarily you're going to have seasons, y'all, where you're going to have a lot of coaches, and you're going to have seasons where you have none. I had a dry spell of 6 months. I didn't have any coaches, but I kept plugging away and digging in with my challengers and tweaking our challenge groups and serving. And then it's picked back up. That's normal. It's not because you're not good. It's not because nobody wants to join you. And I realized during the months of dry, God really did a lot of forming in me. And I spent that time preparing the ground, like getting the units in place and the stuff in place so that now we're ready for it, So, but it's that Emerald trap is what a lot of people do, where they hit a rank and then they coast, and then one coach goes inactive and then like, I'm not Emerald anymore. Well, no, because you focus on being Emerald strong, which is like 4. And then once you have 4, to be a Diamond coach, you have 4 coaches on each side, and 2 of them are Emerald, 1 on each leg. And if you go Emerald every month, and then you teach your coaches to, you will build not only a Diamond team eventually, but a strong team where people are earning an income and making an impact, which is what we want. So sometimes you'll hear like, we can go Diamond in 25 days. Well, yeah, but I would rather you go Diamond in 3 months doing two a month, you know what I mean? Or 4 months and having a really solid team. And if it happens sooner, it happens sooner. So if you haven't already, set your date, let your date stretch you. If you don't hit it on your date, just keep going. It's not a failure. If you want to be really good at this business, get really comfortable failing. Like Brad Bijak talked about that in a video I was doing for him today, where he talked about how like your greatest birthplace of knowledge and learning is from your failures. And if you get really comfortable with screwing up, then you grow a lot faster. So if you haven't already, set your date. See, there, August 15. I love that. And if you haven't already, make your list and have it in, and when you invite people, post their name in the thread so we can pray for those names. I'm like, I don't want someone to join our team that doesn't want to join our team. I want them to join our team because God wants them to be a part of our team. So if you know what I'm saying, and just know that you have a gift to give them. And y'all, I could go on and on and on. It's so funny. I was telling Sarah earlier, I'm so tired and I'm all pumped up and I'm gonna go to bed. This past summit was my 5th summit, and it was my favorite. And every year I say it because I laugh, because my memories for summit were coming up and they were like, this is my 4th summit and this is my favorite. I must have said that every year. But I'll tell you why this year was my favorite, and I know next year is going to be amazing. When you have a team and you get to walk into a party and see your 6 downline, because they're not all my personally sponsored coaches, but they're all our family, interacting with other people who are excited to see them and the genuine joy on their face because they know they belong to something bigger, that makes you want to talk to everybody. And that doesn't even have a paycheck attached to it. It was just purpose. No one was nervous. And if they were nervous, it didn't show. People got comfortable. People were excited. And I had someone tell me, I just love being around your team. They're so happy and positive and just joyful. And I'm like, I know, so think of that when you're talking. You just want people to be in the room with you, and like Sarah said, if you word vomit on them, goodness knows, I wish I could find it. My first invites I ever sent out were oh my gosh, 6 paragraphs long and had every link on it. And everyone ghosted me. And then when I got the confidence, I messaged them back later and said, I am so sorry I ever sent that to you. I was nervous and stupid and I had no clue what I was doing. And they were all like, oh, it's no big deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like pretty embarrassing. But, so, you know, you have help here. Lean into the help. And just know that, you know, you have something amazing to offer and it's not all on you. And so it's okay to be nervous because you value the other person, but don't be nervous because you're not qualified, you know, because you are. So let's pray and be posting this week. Angie Bradley's going to host a Zoom every day at 12:30 Eastern time. Use the team call link. And other cathedral builder leaders that can be on will. I'm going to try when I can. We're going to be in New Orleans next week. So this week and next week, Angie's going to host it. You can hop on to work. Please don't hop on to just chat because she's going to power hour and she focuses. So, but you can come and say, I sent this invite. Can you help me with a follow-up? Or I need to help with how to word this. That's why we're here. We're carving out the next 2 weeks to help you. And those will not be recorded. So, but it's a great tool. And then please come Thursday night to the team call to learn about the summit takeaways. And there is an office half hour before that at 8 o'clock so that you can have help with your invites then too. And after this whole push to green or whatever in August, use that Thursday at 8 o'clock to come because the Cathedral Builders group, you know, as leaders, we commit to being in there to help you. So we can't help you if you don't come. So bring your questions at that time. And so, all right, y'all. Anybody else have any like last words before I pray? Okay, let's pray. Lord, thank you so much. I just pray for growth. Lord, I pray for growth in our personal journey you have called us here. You have called us to be a family. I feel very blessed, Lord, to be here with these women and for those listening to this call. You have called us to be a light in the Beachbody community. You have called us to draw people to this team, to change their lives, to change the culture of their families, to make an impact on marriages, to bring freedom into generations and legacy. And I firmly believe that. And I ask, Lord, that you would pour the gift of courage, of belief, of confidence, of love, the gifts just to be good listeners, to listen, to understand, and that you would also prepare the hearts of those that we will be sending invites to for the rest of the year, especially in the next 2 weeks at this time, and that you would bring those people into our team that can help spread this mission, help us to lean on you, Lord, and trust in you in this process, to lean on one another as a team and lift one another up. I thank you for all the people who will be joining our team in challenge groups. I thank you for this company that's given us an amazing platform to build a business on. And Lord, we just root everything in you as the true and strong foundation for all of us. We pray all these things in your holy name. Amen. All right, y'all. Thank you for being here tonight. I can't wait for everybody to have their green tank tops. Take care.